I've got Andrew Wallace. We had a couple of chats to Andrew on the phone, and we thought, wouldn't it be nice to have him in the studio live and in person? Here he is, the member for Fisher in Queensland. G'day, mate.
G'day, Tim. Good morning to your listeners.
Thanks for dropping in.
Great to be with you.
You know, I look at your CV, and it's very interesting because you were the Shadow Attorney General. Not anymore.
Don't rub it in.
Not anymore, but we'll get to that in a tick. But what about your early life? Wow. Born in Melbourne, and you went to a monastery as a teenager.
I did. Yeah.
What was behind that?
Oh, look, I was 18 or 19 at the time, and I felt like I've always believed in a life of service. And I at that stage, I felt like I was being called to a life of service in the church, and that didn't work out so well. They gave me the DCM about 8 months in. You know what the DCM is, Tim?
Go on.
Don't come Monday.
Nah. You have failed the test. Well, you know, that's a quantum leap, monastery to federal politics.
Well, there's a lot in between there.
Well, there is. And I've got one of these. One of my boys is an apprentice carpenter.
Yep.
Yeah. And then your own building business. See, this is the thing. There's so many politicians who are just lawyers or, you know, been there forever as an apparatchik, I think they call them, been in politics their whole lives. But you've actually had some life experience before politics and then went to university to study law. Yeah?
Yeah, look, I had my own building business for 10 years. Yeah. I loved building, but I had a brain explosion in my late 20s and decided that I'd go and study law with 3 little kids.
Yeah.
So that was a real life experience going to university.
Yeah.
As a mature age student. And
how old were you when you went to uni?
27.
Okay, that is mature age, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's interesting. Did you feel a bit sort of out of place?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Totally a fish out of
amongst
out of the pond.
All the early 20s.
Yeah. I mean, there were more starting to get more older people coming into it. Not like it is now. It's very much these days at university, as I understand it, it's all ages. But back then, I was one of the rare ones.
Yeah.
But look, I couldn't have studied law as an 18-year-old. I just couldn't have concentrated.
No, me either. Yeah. Well, you know, I matriculated, but I couldn't have thought of anything worse than going to university for another 4 or 6 years.
Absolutely.
And ended up in this business, which has been great. So you're either cut out for that or you're not. You know, the university life, I reckon.
Yeah, well, yes and no. I mean, I remember when I finished school, when I finished Year 12, I said to my mum, you know, that's it, I'm never opening another book again.
That's pretty much what I said.
And lo and behold, you know, 10 or 12 years later, I'm
lots of
practicing
books.
law as a barrister.
Yeah.
So,
all right, so then the leap into politics. A lot of former lawyers in politics, but what life of service, is that what led you to politics?
Well, that concept of life of service, for me, it was either in the military or, you know, I tried to get into the Air Force as a kid, as a pilot, but they weren't really interested in me. And so I've always felt that I'm very, very passionate about giving back to my community.
Yeah.
I think that we all have an obligation to serve our community in whatever gifts and talents that we've been given.
Yeah. At University at 27, that's interesting because what's that expression? If you're not a communist by the age of 30, you've got no heart. If you are one still after 30, you've got no brain. So universities, even recently, the research said, is a bit of a bed for leftoids. Yeah. But did you find that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I really struggled with coming from having run my own business, being in the building industry. In Victoria, it was pretty rough and tumble back then, and I'm assuming it is still now.
It would be,
but the building industry is a tough industry to be in, and to go from that straight into academia was night and day. It was very, very different.
Would it be fair? We'll get to the fact that you used to be the Attorney General Shadow. Would you describe yourself as a moderate?
No. I wouldn't. I'm not factionally aligned to anyone or any group. No, I fiercely guard my independence. Within the party. Yeah. I got to where I am on my own merits, and I don't owe my allegiance to anybody or sort of a group think at all. and that's the way I'll stay.
Yeah. It's pretty obvious that the party has lurched to the right, and I think that's probably what the electorate was saying to them with the defection, if you like, to Pauline's party, to One Nation. Fair comment?
No, look, I think Angus. The argument was when Susan was the leader, who I supported, was that that she was too moderate, but which I really rejected. I mean, Susan took us to a position on net zero, which a lot of people seem to forget about. So, Susan had the ability to be able to try and walk that middle line, but for some people, she wasn't seen to be tough enough. But anyway, that's sort of water under the bridge now. The Queen is dead. Long live the King. Yeah. And I think Angus will bring to the job a real focus. And it's not a matter of left or right. I think that the average Australian is really angry at the moment at the Prime Minister.
Yeah, they are.
They're angry at this government because of their standard of living has dropped. We have seen the sharpest drop in standard of living in all OECD countries.
Absolutely.
And that doesn't matter whether you're a cleaner or whether you're a brain surgeon. Everybody is feeling that pinch, and they're angry at the government. But I think what we've experienced is that anger has translated over to us as an opposition, because up until recently we haven't had that united front. And Australians instinctively know that to have a good government, you've got to have a strong opposition.
Absolutely.
And without that strong opposition, I think people felt let down. And, then it was, okay, where do we go? For the average punter, where do we go? If we're certainly not happy with Labor, not happy with the Libs, where do we go? Well, let's look at One Nation.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that this is a relatively short-term thing. I think that One Nation will implode, as it often does.
Yep.
They will have their moment of sun as they're enjoying right now. But you've got two very big bulls in the paddock at the moment with Pauline and Barnaby. Yep. Just
watch this space.
Watch this space.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Look, as your electorate, by the way, there's this school of thought that because with the population's increasing, there should be more politicians, which probably horrifies most people. But Fisher would be a very big electorate, yeah?
Geographically, it's 1,198 square kilometres, so not huge.
Not huge.
But the average, the quota for a federal seat's around 105,000 electors. Right. I'm sitting at over 140,000. Right. So we are way over quota. Yeah. We will have a redistribution before the next election, which will see my seat shrink.
And will it help or hinder you?
That's a matter for the Electoral Commission, but hopefully help me.
Yeah. So the issues that are around at the moment in Fisher, is it Indigenous health? Is it mental health? What's the issues for your electorate, main ones? What are they telling you?
Yeah, look, very, very loudly and clearly, with thanks to the good people of Sydney often and good people of Melbourne, they're moving to the Sunshine Coast in their droves.
Aren't they? Yeah.
And that's why we are one of the fastest growing regions in the country. Yeah. We're getting all of that migration, of which I was one 33 years ago.
Lovely spot.
It's a beautiful spot, and you can't blame people for wanting to move there. But because of that population explosion, we are just drowning. Our roads are totally clogged.
Wow.
Our infrastructure is very poor. We have seen years and years and decades of underinvestment from the state government, the Labor state government. Now, David Crucifulli's been in for a little more than 12 months with the LNP, and we're already seeing significant funding on infrastructure for public transport, rail. Yeah. So that's going to be great. We are hosting a number of the Olympic and Paralympic.
You are?
We are, yeah. We've got
about
7 or 8 events. Yeah. Cycling, the marathon, sailing, so basketball, soccer. So we've done very, very well, or will do very well out of the Olympics and Paralympics. Yeah. And what we need to do is ensure that we capitalise on that and ensure that we have much better road and rail infrastructure.
Indeed. Lovely to talk to you live. We might have another chat again, but just finally, obviously you'd be disappointed about losing the shadow job, but you just move on, don't you? Stay in the ring, keep punching.
Yeah, look, life is full of disappointments, and it's not what happens to you, it's how you respond to the ups and downs of life. I'm sure you feel the same way, Tim.
I do.
And you just got to get back on the horse, as hard as it is. You got to get back on that horse, try and resist the urge to feel sorry for yourself, and remember why you're there. And for me, it's to serve the local community, and get back to work.
Good on you. And thanks for coming in.
My pleasure. Thanks.
Good to have you in the studio. Andrew Wallace.
Authorised by Andrew Wallace, LNP, Boccarina, Queensland.